Hi everyone, I'm Liam Patterson. I'm the CEO of Bidnamic. We're Google Shopping experts. It's pretty much what we do. Is the audio? Is that better? Sorry, is that? Oh, it's just for this? Okay, perfect. So everyone can hear me okay? Perfect. We're Google Shopping experts, so we're working with hundreds of e-commerce businesses around the world. We've got a team in Austin, Texas, as well as in Leeds in Yorkshire, and we've got really two core focuses as a business. The first is on the pre-click optimization. So this is the core of the business, making sure that you're showing up for the right search terms when customers are actively buying to win high purchase intent traffic. And what I'm going to focus on today is the post-click side of the business and the optimization we can do to Google Shopping ads after someone has clicked, after we've invested that money and that traffic's coming through to our website. So as I mentioned, we're Google Shopping experts working with hundreds of brands, many fast growth companies around the world, as well as mid-tier scale-ups as well. Around a team size of 100 in the business. So what is Google Shopping bounce rate? This is the key that we're here to talk about. So it's after somebody sees your ad on Google Shopping, they choose your item from the carousel, they click through and visit your website, but they bounce right back before making another click on the website. So maybe they don't find what they want, maybe the page is too slow, maybe there's any other reason why they don't find it, and they go straight back to Google to continue their shopping on Google Shopping. So what is really, really shocking is I don't think this is a metric that we're focused on enough as digital marketers. We're finding across all the retailers we work with, which I say is hundreds, and even more that we audit and work with and consult with, and we're finding on average a bounce rate of 59%. That means that more than half of the clicks on a single day is coming through and bouncing straight back to Google. It's a huge, huge lever for us to think about when we think about optimizing our channel. So if we just take a spend of £10,000, it's not a huge spend just through Google Shopping, but just on that kind of budget alone, we're seeing that we're wasting £194 a day. So it's a huge amount of revenue going straight back to Google, ineffective. So that's £5,900 out of a £10,000 budget, and this is linear. As we grow that budget, it just continues at that same rate, or even gets worse as we get less targeted, specific, high intent queries. That bounce rate can even move up. But on average, it's around 59%. So this is a really, really impactful channel. It's really something we need to be focused on when we're looking at growing our revenues and growing our profitability from Google Shopping. So here's a few examples. So we see retailers who are way above that 59% average. We see businesses at 90%, 80% quite frequently, where 80% of their budget, of their ad spend is going right back to Google. So it's a massive channel. So if we think about those 10,000 clicks coming through, 8,000 clicks or 8,000 of the 10,000 spend is going right back to Google on that immediate page load. 2,000 clicks is continuing, or £2,000 of budget, and it's resulting in a 2% conversion rate, which is pretty average for an e-commerce business. And here the retailer is returning £50,000. So they're getting a £10,000 in, £50,000 back. They're getting a 5 times ROAS, which is pretty common in e-commerce. So here, when we look at the numbers, we wouldn't be too concerned. We think we've got an average kind of conversion rate, we've got a reasonable ROAS, but by not analyzing that 80% is immediately lost the bounce rate, we're missing a huge, huge opportunity. And just to demonstrate how impactful this is, even a small gain, lowering it from 80% to 70%, means that we're actually doubling the amount of effective traffic that's moving through that funnel. So we've gone from 2,000 clicks to 3,000 clicks that haven't bounced, that are continuing their shopping journey through the site. That means we've been able to increase from £2,000 to £3,000 the effective budget going through the funnel, and if it converts at the same rate, we'd be seeing a 3% conversion rate on the same amount of ad spend and clicks. So effectively we'd be generating an additional £25,000 in revenue, or a 7.5 times ROAS, by just really lowering that bounce rate by just 10%. So it's a massively effective, really, really important part to think about our traffic acquisition and our funnels. And it's also even more impactful than just this on its own. Because if, say, you're happy at the 5 times ROAS that we saw on the earlier slide, and you're about growth, you want to get more traffic, this is how it can affect. So by reducing the bounce rate from 80% to 70%, we're able to increase the revenue per click, which is coming through, which is effective, by actually 50%. This means that if we're happy at the same ROAS of 5, we don't have to go to 7.5. We can instead increase our revenue per click, increase our cost per click by 50%. So let's say going from £1 a click to £1.50 a click. And this is going to drive disproportionate amount of visibility, impressions, clicks at the return on ad spend that we were happy with at 5 times. So this is what we call a growth loop. It's a way to really scale the business if we're happy with the profitability and the ROAS we're generating. Alternatively, we could use bounce rate to increase our profitability by moving towards the 7.5 times ROAS in the example before. And why this is really, really impactful is that the Google Shopping channel is a standard size carousel. This is just for visual effect, and it's a visual effect for a reason. This position here is known as the top impression, and it will receive around 60 to 65% of all the clicks on Google Shopping. So showing up second or third, you've already missed the majority of clicks, the majority of traffic by showing at the front. The challenge here is the only way to get to the front isn't about quality, price, discount, service level like it might be on Amazon, which is about the product price, but instead it's about how much you're paying to come here. So every single ad as we move to the left is outbidding their competitor by 1 penny or 1 cent to move across to the carousel. So to get to the front of Google Shopping, where the majority of the clicks happen, 60 to 65%, we've got to pay Google the most. But if we've got a high bounce rate, that's going to prevent us from outbidding our competitors and running that growth loop. So really, really impactful. To get high volume from Google Shopping, we've got to get visibility, moving towards the front of the carousel. To do this, we've got to have a competitive bounce rate, or we're going to be really struggling to do that, and ineffective with the ROAS and the revenue we're generating. So with this in mind, what are the 2 of the key reasons that we've learned that the customers click and they bounce? Bearing in mind they've seen the product price, they've chosen to trade their time for going through to your website, so they've got something to lose as well. And they've come through to the website, they've unfortunately used our budget, our cost per click to get that click, and now they've come through to our website. And there's 2 key reasons that we see customers bounce. They simply don't find what they're looking for. When they click, it's not the right product. It's easier to go back to Google to find the alternative that they were actually looking for. The image on the carousel is very small. It can be very easily the wrong size, the wrong color, the wrong model. So it's easier to go back to Google to refine the search or click on one of the other ads. Alternatively, it's page speed. So Google, Amazon, all the advertising channels are telling us speed is really, really important. We have to have a fast loading website. And this is the second part which comes into play. So to understand how we've got to where we've got to, where more than half of the budgets on Google Shopping are bouncing right back, we need to understand how the website's been built and the journey that it's been designed for. When we've created our websites, our e-commerce stores, we've had our homepage, which gets across our messaging, our USPs, the types of products we sell. Maybe, let's say we're running shoes, that people understand the categories we've got, so they can select a category such as men's running shoes. On that category page, it's going to display all the men's running shoes we have, the different brands, the different sizes, maybe different price points, maybe different use cases, like downhill, long distance. Then we're going to move to the product details page. When someone clicks onto that, we want to get them to convert. We want to get them to maybe add extra items to their checkout, maybe buy a running shorts or t-shirts, and then to check out with a strong average order value, and do so in a way that they really trust our website. And this makes absolute sense why we do this. But the challenge with Google Shopping is that 80% of the traffic is generic. It's not model specific, size specific, brand specific. It's terms like men's running shoes. But unlike being able to put them onto the homepage or the category page, we are always forced 100% of the time to put them onto a product details page or product page. So they jump right through. They have no knowledge of the rest of our journey, the rest of our site, our expertise, and they're instead served by a single product page. They don't find what they want, that one item that are presented on men's running shoes, and they're bouncing nearly 60% of the time. So let's run through this in real life. Someone goes, men's running shoes, we see Asics, very close to the top impression. Here's number 2. Great brand, someone chooses to click onto them. They come through, and this is the real Asics site. The page fold is what you can see on your laptop, on your screen, your tablet, without scrolling down. And here we're presented with a single item, but we ask for men's running shoes. Asics stock hundreds of shoes, but we're only discovering one shoe. And this is the challenge of so many e-commerce stores, is that we're sending this traffic, which is generic 80% of the time, to a single product details page where all they see is a single item. Whereas if we think about this in real time, what we often see on other stores is a men's running shoes, and then we see exactly that journey we described. We're trying to upsell them, expand them. We know that they've come through to this page, which is designed to upsell them a t-shirt, some shorts, some socks, all sensible related items to increase that average order value. The problem is the customer has asked for men's running shoes. and we're just showing them t-shirts and socks. It would be crazy to experience this in the real world if we were taken to a shop and they instead showed us this experience. So when we actually stand back, is it any surprise that nearly 60% of traffic is bouncing straight back to Google when we're serving experiences like this? And when we think about the real world example, we go into the store, and we're presented with a wall of shoes, and that shoes has been designed to have the most similar alternatives in the Dissects store, showing those that so we're drawn to a shoe, and then we might get some consultation from the clerk or the sales assistant. And this is what we've created at Bidnamic. We've created a dedicated landing page, only accessible from the Google shopping journey. So when someone clicks on that ad, they don't go through to your website, they instead go through to a headless landing page built for this journey, built for product discovery. And we understand the product they clicked on. We understand the price, the category, men's running shoes, the gender, men's, the market, the brand, Dissects, and we use all these product details, all this information that we have at our disposal to find and recommend the most similar alternatives. So what are the most similar items to what they've clicked on that we would merchandise immediately around them, given the search term and given the product they've clicked onto. And we put this above the fold. We know that customers bounce back, they don't scroll down, they leave immediately. So this needs to be a really fast journey. We know they've come from Google Shopping, so we've put a scrollable carousel featuring those most similar alternatives above the fold. We've then, as you scroll down, got other rows of recommendations targeted to that journey and that product they selected. And this is really, really impactful because suddenly we've taken a product details page and we've shown all the most similar alternatives to what they've searched that we stock so that we can help them solve that first problem of product discovery, not finding what they were looking for, going back to Google because they never knew we stocked it. But the second challenge is speed. So how Google tell us that a site speed, if it could be 1 second and it moves to 5 seconds, the probability of a customer bouncing increases by 90%. So this is huge, 90% increase if a page is taking more than 5 seconds to load. So this is the same Dissects store, same Dissects product page that we just looked at before, and this we can see is scoring 16 out of 100 on Google's page speed insights. This is from Google. It's taking 7.6 seconds, so more than 50% than the 5 seconds that we know 90% are bouncing. And this is Dissects, they're a huge retailer, massive experience, maybe a multi-billion-pound brand, getting it like this. And unfortunately, this is what we see, and this is the experience we give time and time again. So if anyone's interested, you can use this QR code. It'll take you through to Google's Page Speed Insights score, and you can put one of your own product page URLs in there, and it will give you exactly the same results you saw. It'll score you out of 100 for mobile and for desktop, and it'll give you that page speed score. So you can see how fast your score is out of 100 and how slow your product pages are. And I do recommend not to use your home page, but to use your product details page, because that's where all your Google shopping traffic is going, and it's often very unoptimized. So knowing this and seeing such slow bounce rates, we've created a headless landing page, which will loads out of 100 out of 100 for both mobile and desktop. It's built desktop first, it's headless, so it's super quick, getting in at 0.3 of a second. So a fraction, a third, 3 times, 66% under the 1 second that we know we need to be hitting. So we're making speed our massive advantage by loading incredibly quick. And we're also overlaying that product recommendation as well. So how are we solving the problem of a high bounce rate for the Google shopping journey? We're solving it by creating a dedicated landing page only accessible from the Google shopping ads click. And because this journey is right for Google shopping, but it'd be wrong for someone coming directly or navigating through your website, coming through other channels such as paid social or SEO, it'd be terrible for that journey. But it's super powerful for the journey of Google shopping, where all the traffic has to go through to this landing page. They're bouncing because they're not finding what their most similar alternatives, which we've merchandised here. And secondly, we're making speed our advantage. We're taking away features that lumber a page, that aren't relevant to the Google shopping journey, and we're placing that into there. So what kind of impact are we seeing already? We're seeing, so for a retailer out of America, Appalachian Outfitters, they've got 3 physical stores in the Appalachian Mountains, a huge mountain trail in the US. They stock really, really competitive brands. A lot of their sales are through Patagonia, which last year was the most searched, most competitive brand on Google Shopping. And they sell a lot of Patagonia products. So they're really in the sweet spot of competitive space. And we were able to decrease their bounce rate by 9.4% within weeks of working with them. This had an impact on their conversion rate. like we saw earlier, less traffic going back, more sales coming through, increased their conversion rate by 11%. Huge impact. This allowed them to reinvest that because they were happy at the ROAS they were getting. So reinvested that into that flywheel we saw before, and they grew their business in the 6 months to growth by 127%. More traffic, more sales, and more profitability. By being able to scale their budget, move their ads along the carousel, get more traffic, get more sales, and convert more traffic. We've got the full case study on our website for both the 127% traffic growth and also their bounce rate reduction and conversion rate reduction as well. And these pages are, whilst they're template driven, they're very customizable. This is actually version 1, we've got now version 4, so there's even more customization. We've got massive brands running through these, such as Melissa's Shoes, which are famous for their jelly shoes. You might see on holiday, they're actually a $1 billion business, driving, they started on A/B test, they're now driving all their Google shopping traffic in the US and North America through their businesses. We're also working with other SME brands. We can easily customize the look and feel, the branding, and we're continually optimizing this as well. So our team is now driving millions of pounds worth of ad spend through these pages, and we're learning this and we're A/B testing, we're tweaking to improve the layout and optimization for your pages if you were to be working on discovery pages. They can be live in under a week as well, so incredibly quick to set up, and you can start to see results very quickly in a matter of weeks, and immediately in terms of the page loading speed being 100 out of 100. So I wanted to open it up. If anyone's interested in a free audit, a free demo, we can line that up using that QR code and take it from there. And if anyone's got any questions, I'd love to take them. I've got a microphone there. Thanks.
Is it working?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So this obviously works on a bit of personalization, and I just want to understand, with the clients you work with today, how has that bloody effing cookie auto block impacted the number of people you can have a personalized experience for?
Yeah, so this is actually, whilst it's built on personalization, it's actually really driven from what's called the Google Merchant feed. So this is a feed of product data. I'll just go back a couple of slides to give it a visual. So every single item that every retailer has to submit to advertise on Google Shopping is submitted by what they call a Google Merchant Center. And it has very structured data, size, color, age, brand in there. So that's actually what we're using to personalize it. And then we're using this to be based on the product they clicked on. So from here, we can personalize it based on the single item we know they've already clicked on, to then use all of the different pieces of data in the product feed to then find the most similar alternatives to populate that scrollable carousel. We also pull in all the Shopify recommendations, so we can use other Shopify related recommendation tools as well. So and it's all tracked from GA4, but in terms of the personalization, it's personalized on the products rather than on the users. There's another question here.
Hi, my name's Olivia and I work at the Whiskey Exchange. So we're a retailer and we sell a lot of all of the spirits brands that you can find literally anywhere. So this is a big topic for us. And I'm just wondering, how much traffic data do you need until this is fully optimized and has left, I guess, the learning phase or whatever it may be, whatever you call it?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the really big advantages of using this product data is that we've not really got a learning phase because we've got all the structured data. So if you imagine this was a whiskey, you'd have maybe the age, the distillery, the brand, the bottle size, and that's already there. So we're going to use that data to populate the product recommendations, and the page speed is instantly 100 out of 100, which will be significantly quicker than yours and other landing pages due to its headless nature. So it really is very, very impactful. We will typically say you'd need maybe 5,000 to 10,000 clicks for it to be statistically significant to show that it's lowered your bounce rate. Yeah, and that's going to depend on your advertising spend. It's typically weeks to see that kind of level of data. But we do a free audit on this slide here, and we'll be able to link into your Google Analytics, your GA4, and we'll be able to tell you exactly how long that would be as well. But yeah, it's normally a matter of a month to really be able to see it, often 2 weeks, just depends on what your advertising spend is for how much traffic you're sending through. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much. Thanks a lot for attending. And yeah, if anyone's interested, then please do. We've got a booth over there as well, so please come over and talk. Thanks again. Cheers.